Greensburg, Decatur County Chamber of Commerce. Thanks so much for joining us, and thanks so much to WTRE for having us back in the station. I'm going to go over a couple of upcoming events for the Chamber. First, let's talk about all the ribbon cuttings. We have had a phenomenal start to 2026, and last year we got to celebrate 3 more ribbon cuttings in 1 week, which is absolutely phenomenal and a little bit tiring, I will say, but we're excited to do it. We got to welcome Plumtree Realty to the downtown square, the historic downtown square here in Greensburg, Indiana. So want to give them well wishes, and we wish them the best down there. They're on the south side of the square. They've got a fantastic office. It is absolutely stunning inside, and they did announce and reveal their plans for their facade improvement, and that is going to be coming any day now. So just kind of keep an eye on that south side. It's going to be hopping here soon. We also cut a red ribbon for Zaxby's, national name but locally owned. We're extremely excited to partner with them. We've actually had them cater a couple of our events. Absolutely phenomenal service, great food as well. And so we're excited to have them as part of our community over there on North Middle Drive. And then we wrapped up the week with a ribbon cutting for the new photography trail, the Decatur County Photography Trail. That was a really cool project that was enacted by the stellar team of Decatur County, which is made up of 7 different local organizations. So a true collaborative effort, and we want to thank Main Street Greensburg for taking the helm on that project and helping see that project through fruition. So if you are interested in where all the stops are on the photography trail, there are maps located in a couple of different offices. The one I'm going to point you to first is Visit Greensburg. If you'll just pop in their office, they've got a great brochure on that, and that is on North Broadway. I'm going to talk about a couple of upcoming new members for the Chamber. We want to thank Tree City Getaway, Paul and Regina Pank, R&R Storage Properties, Kennelly and Daughters Car Wash, and Clean Wave Laundry. They have all come on board just since I was in studio last, and I was here just 2 weeks ago. So another phenomenal turnout with new members. We are going to be cutting a ribbon for Tree City Getaway on Wednesday, April the 29th at 11 a.m. So if you can join us, that location is 120 East Washington Street. Again, that is Wednesday, April the 29th at 11 a.m. Tree City Getaway. If you aren't familiar with it, come on out to the ribbon cutting. We'll tell you all about it, and you'll get to have that sneak peek as well. Next up for Leaders and Loggers, that will be next Tuesday, April the 21st from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Tap, located at 116 East Washington Street. Huge shout out to Trisha Pettit and her staff there for always taking great care of us there at Leaders and Loggers. We took the month of March off for St. Patrick's Day, so we are going to come back with Dyed Designs here in April. So Dyed Designs will be joining us April the 21st from 4 to 6 p.m. That event is free and open to the public, so feel free to come and join us. Lots of great connecting, lots of great collaborations happen from that Leaders and Loggers event, and we'd love to have you join us. Our next HR Power Hour for the second quarter of the year is going to be Thursday, May the 7th. This one is creating a lot of buzz, a lot of hype. So the Chamber is introducing Chamber Care, which is an alternative healthcare option for GDC Chamber members. If you are an insurance provider, if you are a GDC Chamber member, or if you are a small business who is not a GDC Chamber member but is looking for affordable health care for your employees, you will want to join us on Thursday, May the 7th from 11:30 to 1 at Greensburg City Hall's multi-purpose room. You can sign up for that event online at greensburgchamber.com/events. And coming up, we've got 2 large events that we've released dates for. That is the Women in Business Conference, Polished, Powerful, Purpose. That event will be Thursday, June the 11th from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. located at Greensburg Elementary School, 900 Big Blue Avenue. This is an event you will not want to miss. I can promise you it will be an experience. Keyword experience. So hang on to that if you are ready for a truly innovative and collaborative way to present this conference. This is going to be the year that we're doing it. So we're extremely excited about our speaker lineup. You have seen that on social media already. If you have not, go check us out on our Facebook page or on our website. And then also coming up on Friday, August the 7th, we will have our 41st annual Summer Day of Golf fundraiser. This year's event will be held at Greensburg Country Club on West Park Road. So join us for that. This year's format is going to be a little bit different. So we're excited to try something new, and we hope that you like the new format. We're going to actually run 2 flights on August the 7th. We'll do an AM flight and a PM flight, and it will be on a first come, first serve basis. So there are limited spots on each flight, first come, first serve. So as soon as we release that and open that event up for signups, you're going to want to get in there quick. And in studio with us today, we have Lisa Cole of Joyner Homes. Lisa is the business development specialist, and I want to give her a huge shout out and a huge thank you publicly. She actually came to be on Community Connections a few weeks ago, and unfortunately the studio here lost power. She had driven all the way from Greenfield that day to be with us, and we had to turn her right back around and do it all over again and reschedule. So Lisa, thank you so much for being so understanding with that situation. I just told everyone, I was like, she was just so joyful about it, and it just made it so easy. Obviously nothing anybody could do, but we totally thank you for being so understanding with that.
Yes, you're welcome, of course.
Well,
I actually made that day pretty productive.
Finally.
Yeah. Thank you. I went to Plum Tree Realty that day, actually. And so I made some other stops. So yes, I didn't mean to cut you off, but thank you for having me.
Perfect. Yeah, there is a lot going on here in Decatur County. You are a big part of that. So give us just a little bit of background about Joyner Homes and what Joyner Homes is.
Okay. So Joyner Homes was established in 2006 by a husband and wife, Tom and Sarah Joyner, and they're originally from Ohio. They moved over here and they started an EPCON community. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a...
Go ahead and tell me about it.
It's a small community of homes that are a lot of times duplexes, or in their case it was quads or whatever, quad homes. It's a franchise business. And they came to Greenfield. They had kind of scouted out some areas, came to Greenfield, thought that was a good spot, and they started EPCON community. And that was, in that horrible time of the housing crisis. So they actually powered through that, and then they sold out that community. Took them a little while, and then they moved on to like other bigger, better projects. Not bigger and better. I should just say bigger projects at that time.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about your background, just personally.
Yeah. So I started with Joyner. Gosh, it has been probably 7.5 years ago now. And I started it as a new home specialist, and that's the sales team basically, and we are working model homes daily so that people can come in and ask questions right away, or we're answering phone calls and answering questions, and just people are really curious about the building process or just pricing and all the things that they see, where we build, all these things that we're probably going to talk about a little bit. But so that's what I did for a long time, for about 5.5 years, and then I transitioned into the business development role, and this is more of like making connections with chambers, realtors, just people, honestly.
Sure.
And getting us more established in areas where we've not been before.
Okay. Yeah. And Joyner Homes is known for what? Fill in that blank.
I would say Joyner Homes is known for quality and uniqueness, maybe in the look. Like if you drive around, especially Hancock County, where we're super well known, you can pick out a Joyner home. Like even if you're in a neighborhood, we have a neighborhood there, it's called Stone Ridge, that 4 builders are allowed in, and you can kind of go around the neighborhood and be like, oh, that's a Joyner home, that's a Joyner home. So yeah.
Very distinctive.
Very distinctive custom homes, yes.
Okay, and you just used the word custom. Tell us exactly what that means.
So in our case for custom, anybody comes into design studio after they sign an agreement to build a home with us, and they get to choose every detail of their home, down
Wow.
to the trim, the paint, the flooring, tile, everything. So we have a lot of selections too. Our design studio is in downtown Greenfield. So
Okay.
anybody who builds a home with us comes into the design studio, works one-on-one with our design team, and then they pick out every detail of their home. So you can you can start with a floor plan of joiners. You can do complete design build. You could modify a floor plan of ours, make the rooms a little bigger, bump a wall, do all the things. So
And I would assume all of those decisions are going to, at the end, affect the pricing.
yes.
Perfect. Okay.
But the nice thing is our new home specialists, they have, it's called a blue series and a black series package as far as upgrades go. And it's listed out what's included in those. And when someone comes in and they say, I like LVP flooring and I know I want granite or quartz countertops, and there's like a list of things that a lot of clients come in and they do. And we put an upgrade list together that it's just like, this will be your price. And we know that if you go above and beyond that, then that's up to you. And a lot of people do go above and beyond that. But if someone is like, they come in, and I remember when I was in a new home specialist, they would come in and they would talk about their budget and they would say, this is very tight, like this is where I want to be.
Sure.
I would advise them
Smart of
that
them.
when they went into the design studio to say, listen, we're at the top of our budget, like we want what's included in this package and that's it. Now, a lot of times people will like go back and forth a little bit with the design team and make adjustments and things like that, but it's an option to choose every little detail. Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is fun. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's like the best of all, like, shopping experiences right there.
Yeah. It's fun. It is a little bit stressful. Picking out every detail of your home is stressful, I think. Like we did a remodel at my house a couple years ago, and even just picking out what was going in the kitchen and the dining room, I was like, ah. And so what's nice is we have our design team there to kind of like mentor them through the whole process and give them some advice if they want it, or kind of hang back and let them choose and design everything if they want it. But we do have a lot of people come in that are like, we need help, and that's what they're there for.
Right. And a lot of people haven't designed multiple homes, over the course of their lives like Joyner has. So, nice to know that your team of specialists has, is what they do day in and day out. They're very accustomed to those questions and thinking about things that maybe a typical home builder would not think of.
Yeah.
So.
No, I totally agree with that, because sometimes people, if someone's built a house, sometimes they'll come back in and they know exactly what they want, but most of the time people, this is a lot of their first time to build a home.
Sure.
So that is super, they love that. They love having a designer through the whole process. Yeah.
Yeah. So take me through the process of designing my own home. Let's just say that I am in the market to design my own home. What is the very first thing that I need to do?
So if you're going to build with Joyner, I would say, because the process is different for everybody, but if you decide to build with Joyner, or if you're trying to figure out if we're even an option, because that would be the first step. Are we a good fit? Because sometimes we are, sometimes we're not. Sometimes people don't want to go into a design studio and pick things out that way. They want to go out to the tile shop and the flooring shop. That actually sounds terrible to me, because I don't have time for that. But so I think our process would be perfect for someone like me. But yeah, so if they're trying to decide where they want to build, they're trying to decide pricing, design, floor plans, all that, it all starts with our new home specialists. And so Kathy, Emily, Alicia, they're our new home specialists. Alicia's specific to Williams Run and our Rushville community, low maintenance community. And then Kathy and Emily, they do all of the other, everything else, like our neighborhoods, out on your lot, all of that sort of thing. So it all starts there, and that's where they get basically any information they need to know if we're going to be a good fit. And so if someone were to decide to build with us, they would sign an agreement. Is that what you're talking about, even going that far?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, take me through it.
So they would sign an agreement. There's definitely some time in there. Sometimes people come in and they're just like, they need the information, they're ready to move, and they sign an agreement right there. I had people wait a couple of years, before they felt comfortable with it or whatever. They had different reasons that were holding them back. But so you sign an agreement, and then if you're going to just build the floor plan the way it is, then you would go straight to design. If you want to change things within that floor plan or even go complete design build, then you would go to meet with our architectural specialists, and then they help you kind of work through the changing of the floor plan and stuff like that.
You just said go design build. What does that mean?
So design build is completely from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so you can definitely do that too.
Okay.
So
So you don't have to start with one of the prefabricated floor plans that
You don't have to.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Some people come in and they have a floor plan that they found, and but it will definitely have to go
Interesting.
through our team still, because
Sure.
sometimes those plans don't take into consideration that there's like a hallway that's 3 feet wide, and well, no, we need to widen that, or
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah.
just a small example.
Sure.
But yeah, I think actually, and I might have misspoke, I think we're changing up the process a little bit, where you're even changing some of the like if you want to bump a wall, or you want to, and I said that was with our architectural specialists. I think that's starting with our new home specialists now too. So that's
Okay.
even something, they're a big part of the process. Yeah,
It's a lot of steps. It's a lot of stages, but you guys are there to hold our hands through the entire
totally.
process.
Yep.
Okay. And you mentioned, so this I was not aware of. You mentioned one, that you can come in with your own floor plan. It doesn't have to be something that you have already set. And two, it sounds like, if I'm understanding correctly, you can build anywhere. So let's say that I purchase land out in the country in Decatur County. You could build that home for me if I was building a home from the ground up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have multiple neighborhoods in Hancock County, New Pal, Greenfield. We sold out a neighborhood in Fortville. We also have a few home sites in Anderson. Gosh, where else? They're just kind of scattered about.
Sure.
But if someone comes in and they've purchased their own lot and they want to put a house on it, then yes. If it's within, normally it's about an hour radius from our downtown Greenfield office,
Okay.
then we can build there.
And does all of Decatur County hit that? Are we all good?
I don't know. It would, normally what I say is, if you're curious, if you own land, call in, talk to the new home specialist.
Okay.
They'll map it out. They'll put it in the map. And even if we're kind of like, we've even accepted a few jobs that are like an hour and 5 or an hour and 10. If we have multiple jobs going on in that area, then we might extend it a little bit, because then it makes sense. We just don't want to overextend our team.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
so, because that would be a lot of driving, a lot of upkeep for our
of
project
resources.
managers. So we just
Yeah,
want to make sure we're
100%.
keeping the PMs at a comfortable spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we actually have someone building in Greensburg,
Okay.
and it's out in the country or somewhere on a county lot. I do know that.
Okay.
But it's our first one in Greensburg, I think.
That's exciting.
I know.
Yes.
So there's a neighborhood, I think it's called Sand Creek. Is that here? Sand Creek?
Yes, we do have Sand Creek.
We can
yes.
build there. I know there's a whole bunch of home sites that are available there. We can build there. And then I made some connections in Batesville, and we have 3 or 4 homes going in Batesville too. So,
Very
I mean,
cool.
it's kind of cool, like
Yeah.
that extension there. But yeah, but we've built in, I think, 20 counties or something. Hopefully I'm not saying that wrong, but with that, how far we can extend, we've built quite a few counties. We're in Columbus now, 3 or 4 homes in Columbus now. Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
yeah.
Very cool. What is that like from a designer's perspective, or anyone on the team actually, when that house is finished? What is that feeling like for you guys?
I feel like it's like definitely a sense of accomplishment, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just exciting, like to see it come to fruition. Like I remember even being in the sales process as a new home specialist. It was so neat to have the customer come into the model and knowing all the things we've worked through. And I mean, honestly, we're counselors. Like I cried with customers. Like it's a lot of different things you're learning about their family, because you have to learn about what's going on with them
What their
to
needs
really,
are, yeah.
what their needs are, to really figure out what's going to be the right fit for them in their
Sure.
in their next home. And so it's just exciting. It's very
Yeah.
exciting, because then you're changing people's lives for the better. Because
Right.
nobody comes to you really wants to move, not to change their lives for the better. So it's doing that. So it's
Of
really
course.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's switch gears a little bit. I am a potential home builder, and you need to take me through the number one or maybe the top 3 things that homeowners or home builders make mistakes on. What should I be watching out for?
Well, I know I wrote a note about this. I'm going to look at that really quick because there's a couple things I'm thinking about.
I would do it all wrong. And I would say I want this, we need that, and at the end of the day, you guys would be like, Dawn, pump the brakes.
No, I love that you actually brought that up because that is something I was thinking about. Because, okay, so
I would be way too excited.
Well, so that it is like, again, it's like a counseling type of thing. Like, it's not that you want to burst people's bubbles or anything, but you definitely have to help them be realistic about their goals and their, if they have a budget, they come in and they're like, this is their budget, and they, are saying something that is double that price, then that's part of the counseling part of it.
Sure. Reel it in, Dawn. Reel it in.
Right. Well, it's fun to dream, though, isn't it?
100%.
So I wouldn't necessarily say a mistake, but I would just say it's something that you want to go in with a expectation of, like, maybe my dreams are not set into reality, I guess. Like you might, I don't know. So that I would just say, going in with an open mind, telling somebody what you are looking for, how it's going to improve your life. Always talk your budget, because some people get leery about that. I would say that's a big mistake, holding back on your budget.
Okay.
Tell someone your budget, because I needed to know people's budget, so I kept that in mind when I'm not going to offer someone a house that's $400,000 above their budget. Like, that's just not fair. It doesn't make any sense. So, not fair to them, I would say.
Sure.
So I would say that's a big mistake, holding back on your budget.
Okay.
Where is that? Let's see here. Making sure. So I would say, sorry, I had another good thought that I feel like it's here somewhere, but.
And we can totally come back to that. Along that same lines, and we're talking about personalizations and customization. Wow, try that word again. Customizations. When you were looking at that and thinking, I mean, there are probably points throughout that process that a home builder is going to have to pull back on, just like you said, due to that budget and just being cognizant of where we're at. So if I am going to customize something in my home, what are the most common spaces that somebody typically pours that customized piece or pieces into? Yeah.
A lot of times it's what I would always ask my customers is, where do you spend most of your time? Because if you're spending most of your time in whatever space, you want to make sure that space is special. So a lot of times, I would say 9 times out of 10, people say their kitchen and living room, or their great room.
Yep.
And so a lot of times people want to use a lot of their upgrade budget in that kitchen area, and then the master bath is super important. So to a lot of people, so a lot of times people will upgrade that space quite a bit.
Okay.
I did think of the other thing after I looked at my notes here. So a mistake, I would definitely call this, like, I don't know, realtors maybe would disagree with me on this, but I would say it's tough when someone comes in and they want to base the home that they're trying to build off of a future buyer. Like, if they're going to sell their home in like 20 years or something. I've had people come in and say, well, I don't plan to move out of this house ever, but I want to keep this in mind in case someone comes along down the road and they want to buy it. I don't think that's really very smart to do. I think you should build for your specific needs.
Okay.
So I had that happen quite a bit. Yeah.
Interesting. I have heard conversations around, keeping it somewhat neutral, with those thoughts in mind. Yeah. And making sure that it doesn't go out of style, those timeliness things, whether it's colors or accents or whatever.
Right.
So I have heard people talk about that. But you're saying, don't worry about that. Just build it for how you like it.
Yeah. If you're going to be in this house for 20 years plus, do what you want. You're the one who has to look at it for that long. Someone will buy it.
Right. When you are going through the build process, let's say we've signed the agreement, we've picked out the things, we're ready to break ground. How long typically, and I'm sure it's different for every home, dependent upon what the different features are, but typically how long does that build take?
So there, from groundbreaking, there is like you said, there's that portion of time where there's, you're doing your design, architecture, and it could be different. That time, that length of time could be different based off of different goals of the customers or needs or whatever. But from groundbreaking, when we're ready to start building, it's normally somewhere around 6 to 8 months.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
A brand new customized home in 8 months tops. Like that's
Yeah, from groundbreaking.
Yes,
So like
yes.
the other stuff, it could take up to a year for the whole entire process,
Sure.
But yeah.
sure. That's incredible. And I'm sure, you've got all kinds of factors like weather and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Depending on what stage of the build you're in. What are some of the things that you're seeing that are very common right now in customized home? Is there like a certain design element that people are gravitating to right now, or
Well,
common maybe even color trends, or like what is trending?
I would say, again, this is something that, we want people to come in and think thoughtfully about what they want to do in their home. But trending, that's a tough one for me to say since I'm not in the design studio quite as often anymore. But I don't know. Gosh, I feel like kind of like neutral colors,
Okay.
kind of like they're coming back, or there's like it's called color drenching. So
Okay, yep.
it's like the trim, the wall, the ceiling is all like a dark color.
Yes.
Wallpaper is
Okay.
something that I feel like people have asked a lot about.
So that's kind of making a comeback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Are
yeah.
open concept
That's-
spaces still
yeah.
pretty common?
That's pretty common, but
Yep.
it was always, I did maybe when I was in the model homes, maybe a handful of times I did have people come in that said they don't like that. And so I know,
Interesting.
so
Yeah.
we had to figure out a way to accommodate that, but that's another cool thing because we could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty standard at this point. Yeah.
What can help me as a potential customized home builder be better prepared when I come in to see you?
I would say
Obviously, I mean, we've kind of talked about budget. So knowing my budget, I
Knowing your
understand
budget,
that. Knowing the location, maybe.
Right.
But other than that, what are some things that I should maybe do a little research on or think about, questions that I'm going to be asked that I might need to know the answers to?
Well, I mean, honestly, if you're just thinking about building, period, I would say you don't need to be prepared that much. Some
Okay.
people know ahead of time. They've researched a ton. I could tell when those customers would come in, they already knew the floor plan they liked. They already knew this, but that is what the new home specialist is there for. That was my job when they came in to say, because they'd say, I'm just starting out. I have no idea, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we would narrow it down from there. Okay, so like, where do we want to be?
Okay.
What does your space look like in your home now? What would you change? Asking questions like that to really learn and figure out what the next move is for the customer. So I don't think they have to really be prepared. They don't even have to know their budget for sure. Like if they come in and they think they know their budget, or they think this is the number I want to spend. We have a lot of that, like where someone comes in and they know they think they have a number in their mind of what they want to spend. They don't even necessarily have to know that right away. Like that is something that the new home
Okay.
specialist will help them figure out as well by hooking them up with our preferred lenders, so they can give them a call like after
Okay.
they've talked. It's like, say someone comes in, we've got land, we've got the home figured out, we've got which package they're going to go with, whatever. It's pretty standard. We know it's going to be, I don't know, $450,000, at that point they can reach out to the lender and say, can I make this work? And sometimes
Sure.
the lender's like, oh yeah. And then sometimes the lender will say, well, you might need to sell your home first, or just other things, just
Sure.
as another counselor as part of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Believe it or not, we are almost out of time.
Oh, wow.
I know. I'm looking at the clock here. If I am interested in going through this process, so I've seen, because we've worked with you guys for a little while now, you have tons of open houses, which is really fun. Talk
Yeah.
a little bit about that. Do I need to show up to one of those? Do I need to walk into the main office in downtown Greenfield? Do I need to call to set up an appointment? What
Yeah.
does that start look like for us?
Well, so our models are open. We have a model in our Boulders neighborhood that is open 7 days a week, 12 to 5. And then in our Williams Run, our low maintenance community, it's open 12 to 5 Sunday through Thursday. Sometimes people will just pop in, but the only thing about that is somebody might be, one of the new home specialists might already have an appointment with someone, and so they're not able to like give all of their attention to that customer.
Sure.
So you don't have to. You can certainly pop in. You can go into an open house. If some people like that, because then it's like they don't feel like they have to necessarily give a ton of information to the team. But we normally have those like I think once a month or something at this point. But if somebody wanted to make sure that they were going to have time to really sit and like dig in, they would want to reach out and schedule something to come in, and it can take like an hour or something. You know, they can look at the model home or look at other homes under construction, and that would probably be the best route. But again, they can pop in anytime. They can stop into an open house, or again, if they know they're serious about it and they really want to get some questions answered, they're going to want to fill out maybe a question form on our website, and then they'll get in touch with the right person.
Yeah. What is that website?
So joinerhomes.com. And then it depends on where you're at. If you're on like your desktop, you just go down to the very bottom of the page, and then it's, I think, information question, or, you know, it's pretty clear what it stands for.
Okay.
And, or you can fill out a customer worksheet. That's also on the website. But if you're online, I feel like it's under contact us and somewhere in there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And do you have a phone number and an address to the downtown Greenfield location?
Yes.
Putting you on the spot.
The address is 123 West Main Street.
Well, that's
easy peasy.
Convenient, yeah.
I don't know the model addresses by heart, but
can those be found on the website?
Yep, those can be found on the website.
Perfect.
The phone number I feel like is like 317. I'm not even going to guess. Actually, I don't know. I forget.
We won't hold you to it. Okay, joinerhomes.com, 123 West Main Street in Greenfield. And anything from prefabricated plans to fully customized, and can build anywhere within approximately a 60-mile radius of your downtown Greenfield location.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
That is incredible. I want an update when the Greensburg location is finished. I think it would be fun for us to, have an update and maybe see that home. That would be,
for sure.
if the homeowner would allow that. That would be
that's
fun
awesome
to see, what's new and what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us on Community Connections. We appreciate collaborating with you and having the ability to help present you here in Decatur County, and we're excited to see what future collaborations, as you talked about earlier, are coming down the pipe for Joiner Homes. So keep us in the loop.
I will. Thanks for having me.
Of course. With that, I'm Dawn Lowe from the Greensburg Decatur County Chamber of Commerce. This has been Community Connections.